Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we're going to do a top 16 leader breakdown from the DBS Nationals event that took place this last weekend. This event was pretty buck wild in a lot of ways, and most of the reason, for me, one of the reasons for that is that they introduced 20 new cards day of, which is nuts to me. I can't imagine doing that, and I'm always tempted to play new stuff, and I'm happy. As much as I really want to be there, I know I'd just be stressing myself out. Like, should I play these new cards and trying to get them day of and all that nonsense. But yeah, so it was really cool. Yeah, great event from what I've heard, and really diverse too. If you can see this pie chart on the right side, and we'll go over that for a bit. But real quick, just some caveats for this video. First, I'm just going to be talking about leaders. Honestly, I don't have the deck list. They've been really hard to find these past couple events. I'm not sure really why that is, if there's just a difference in TO staff or if it's just not a priority anymore or any of that stuff. But it's been really hard to do that, and so I just honestly don't. But rest assured, I'm almost positive that every video or every deck list in this list is going to get a video or interview or something like that. And I will populate this as well. But if you have any links to decklist or anything like that, please let me know. I'll put them on this document. This document will be also in the description below. So if it's updated, you can click on it and see it and all that. So hopefully that will be a good resource for people while we're still kind of scrounging for these decklists. And so, the other reason is I'm not sure if I'm 100% qualified to talk about the one of cards and all the really intricate things about these deck lists that people poured days over these, and I think there's no better person to explain them than themselves. So hopefully there are videos and they can tell you why they did things, their experiences for the events, and I think they're way better qualified for particular deck lists that you're very interested in. So that's why I'm not doing that. I think my time would be better spent in my strength and just doing kind of an overview of just the meta for this event, this day one event and all that. So and another caveat for this event too, so it's only top 16, which is really weird for me, and I think a lot of people were upset about this. I was upset with it, of course, and I wasn't even there, so I can't imagine how people were there, especially people who were 17th to 32nd place. But it's kind of leaves like a weird taste in your mouth that the biggest event of the year was only a top 16 cut. They did have over 400 players, and the rules that they dropped a couple days before the event clarified that top 32 is only for events that have 513 or more players. So they're ballpark within 100 people are reaching it, and I think if the rules dropped like a couple weeks earlier, people would have been able to make a kerfuffle enough that Bandai would probably budge for it, but they didn't, and they didn't change it. So that's that. It's also weird because in my opinion, they made Nationals more exclusive this year. I could be wrong about that, and I have no idea about how the last chance qualifiers run. I heard that there are a lot of confusion and headaches about that as well. So if you have any comments about that, please leave them in the description below, and we can talk about how that went. But anyways, all of that aside, let's just jump into the meat and potatoes of this video. And yeah, so first I'm just going to read the top 16 people who did this. I'm terrible at names, so I'm going to butcher like half of them. But I think these guys did a really great job this weekend, and they deserve to be recognized for that. And so here we go. So we got Robert Wheatsies, and this is first off of Swiss standings, and then I'll go top 4 after that. So Robert Wheatsies with his yellow Broly. With the apes archetype, we've got, and I think when they say apes, it just means they run the new Great at Bardock. This guy who also is very expensive right now. Don't buy him unless you're using my link in the description below. JK, still don't buy him. Just wait a couple weeks, especially since there's no events. But obviously this guy was an MVP for the weekend based on my knowledge of it. So. There's also Eric Salido with Pan. Shoutouts to Eric. Dehan with Janimba. Mill, probably. Probably Mill, as in we've got Amani Edwards with Paranga. We've got Mikhail Grant with Yellow Broly BR. Marcel Russell with Yellow Broly BR. Also Mikhail ran a green-yellow variant. As far as I know at this moment, he's the only person who, of the top 16, who really took advantage of the new cards from that set that dropped day of. So really shouts to him. That's that's very scary to do. Like it takes a lot of guts to do that, and you have to be really confident. And to see that he made it work is really cool. And I heard that he's also running the deck that I made. Assumedly, people have been telling me the deck that I made a couple of days before the event with the Yellow Broly leader. My last video, it was pretty close to that. So it's really cool that it did so well. We got Marcel Russell with Yellow Broly, which was Universe 6. So as you can tell, there's like a lot of Yellow Broly and archetypes inside them. We've got Noah Land with Rudigarn. I hope that it's the control variant, chain, but I think it's blue red, like the goo Rudigarn. But either way, like still shoutouts for being Rudigarn. Simon Boucher with Kid Q, Rohit with Clash of Fates Goku, Brian Samuel with Yellow Broly Apes, Andrew Dovale with Demigra, Eric with Yellow Broly Apes, Lock Nguyen with Shenron Ramp, Tim Palacios with Pan, Pat O'Neill with Janimba, and Scott Patrick Avery with Shenron, which honestly was a lot more diverse than I was thinking it was going to be. So that's really great to see. And then also there's no Toas in the top 16. That's nuts to me. The premier deck, and it's won like a couple events the last couple of months, and sure, we've gone like a couple of cards come out here and there, but nothing super deadly or crazy against it. And just to have it not have a presence is really surprising to me. I'm not sure if people were specifically teching for Toa, and so Toa just, since it was quote unquote the best deck of the format, or one of the best decks of the format, people were gunning for it or whatnot. But it was just very surprising for me to see that. And then going into the top 4, we've got Brian Samuel with his Yellow Broly, Lock Nguyen with his Shenron, Robert Rizzi with his Yellow Broly, and Marcel Russell with his Yellow Broly. So if you can't tell, I've been saying Yellow Broly a lot. And it's actually, there's only 5 in the top 16, so not too crazy. A little bit over a quarter of players are running Yellow Broly. But even though people were running this leader, it was still diverse within the leader, which I think is fantastic. If we were to break this down further into Yellow Broly Apes, Yellow Broly Universe 6, and Yellow Broly Green Yellow, they just have 2 and 1s, which means if we do that parameter, that the most common archetype with leader is 2 of, right? Everything, there's not more than 2 of one leader archetype pair. So that's really cool to me. Way more diverse than I thought. And I think that's really what happens though when people on a set one, a day one format, like this past weekend, I think that's something that can be really common. People are just trying crazy things, and someone just strikes fire and it works out. And really, just I feel like the most flexible deck is the one that breaks out. And honestly, I really think that's what Yellow Broly is. He's a really great leader, and he's been around for almost a year. But he just has so much of stuff that is going good for him. He's able to self-awaken. He's able to generate card advantage. He's able to extend his own plays and also diminish his opponent's plays. The fact that he's got a lot of good tags on him that have a lot of good synergy. I just think with all the support he's gotten in the last couple, honestly, part of the reason he's so good right now is not any there's the Universe 6 variant, which I think is very good and competitive. Really just the fact that for a lot of these, it's just cards that are genetically good that fit into a yellow leader deck. We're just going to put all these together, just call it like a mid-range meta, and then not only is it very powerful and can do a lot, but it's just very flexible. And I think that's what is the biggest strength for Yellow Broly, is that it can be super flexible in its plays, and the way it's able to get card advantage and everything, it just has it's just very consistent as well. Flexible and consistency, I think, are the 2 things that just really define this leader. And I think it shows. I think that's why it's been popping up at, I think, almost every event. It's been able to top every event since its release, which is just crazy. And then we've got Janimba. We've got 2 of them. Not super surprised. Janimba, almost like Broly, in the sense I'd say he's just a little bit less, because not as flexible. There's a built-in win condition, but that's your main priority. Sure, you can still deal 8 damage to your opponent, and there are ways to do that too. But I don't think Janimba is as flexible, especially since they are restricted for what cost cards they can use. They can't use 5 cost or higher, which isn't a huge deal. But Janimba's here. Janimba's going to stay. As far as I know, these are kind of like the Guy Janimbos just use multicolors and multi counters to just be able to take control of the game and all that. I'm not sure if they'd use the new card, but I'm pretty sure they at least tried it, and that's all I know. Sorry. Then we've got two Pans. It's really cool to see how much Pan's been doing. Just it's I think Pan's been since what set 7 has dropped. Or yeah, set 7. Is that what the oh man what the multicolor set is that set 7? That is right. Oh gosh, I'm gonna expose myself. Whatever that one. Pan was just the fact that you're able to summon stuff on your opponent's turn more consistently, since you have more options, and since obviously the cards that you're playing on your opponent's turn are really good. Pan just gets so much value. I think Pan's just gonna be out forever now, just as like a consistent leader, just for gaining value and plussing by also making your opponents minusing and all that kind of stuff. So Pan's great. Pan's gonna stay, I think, for a while, and especially since, as far as I can tell, there's just going to be more and more ways to play cards on your opponent's turn, to get the double proc with, drawing cards and just being defensive while still gaining value. Next up, we've got two Shenron and a Paronga. I'm going to assume that they are all ramp Gogeta kind of variants. So I think these are just super strong. Probably the best quote unquote combo deck. They're not truly a combo deck in my mind. They're just kind of like a fast ramp deck. So it's really weird that they're slow by building stuff, but they're also aggressive at the same time. I don't know what the best way to classify these, but they're super good, super annoying, and I'm not surprised that there are three in the top. This is about. I'd almost be afraid that they were going to overtake the top 16. So I'm actually, only 3 I think is a pretty good number there. Next we've got a bunch of one-ups. We've got Hurdigarn. Once again, I think I said, I'm pretty sure it's the red-blue version. Chantax Xenos, if that's the case, Chantax Xeno can always have a chance to do very well, especially, and who knows if they are in the Pan version, and I don't, honestly, but I'm pretty sure that they'd be running that as well if it made sense. But Chantax Xeno can just win you games and win you matches when you shouldn't, and just the fact that you can say, oh, I can always not lose, there's always a chance to not lose this matchup because I can do a really good Chantax Xeno, and then just my opponent can't win anymore. And just the fact that we can't be, there's not as much interactions with it anymore, since we don't have Cold Bloodlust at 4. Sure, we can use like Denial of Hope and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think a lot of people are running that card this weekend. Honestly, I don't know. I really wish we could know how many of each leader will run and all that kind of stuff. But Baby wasn't here, and that's, as far as I know, that's like the number one deck that would run a card like that. So just, I think that's very aggressive. If it wasn't that version, if it was the Hurgarn kind of control deck that I've been advertising and all that for the last couple of weeks, I still think that's a super solid deck. It just has options for winning, but I'm from what I've told, it's the red blue version. I'm not surprised there. Next up, we've got Kid Ku. This could be anything. I'm not going to comment. This is I wish I could say anything more about it, but the Kid Ku's so flexible. I'm really actually surprised that it was able to sneak in here, just because it didn't really feel like there was much room for it in the meta anymore. But it is cool to see. This is like one of my favorite decks, to be honest, just because it has a really cool game plan and can be really consistent. But I don't think Kid Ku's going to be very viable for very much longer, especially with so many of the new cards coming out next set are just saying like, oh, KO 1 cost just for the heck of it, and this deck strives on that. So we'll see how that goes. But this might, in my opinion, this could be one of the last hurrahs for Kid Ku for a little bit. Then we've got Clash of Fate Goku, and this is with Rohit, yes, with his build. If I remember right, if I know the build as well as I do, this is kind of just like just a Kaioken version, but you're able to be really grindy and just really prevent your opponent from doing anything until you can really go off. Seems it's really competent deck, and I'd say that it's I'd say like it's very similar to like a more control version of like Shenron Ramp, but I think that it gains flexibility, but also gains complexity for running this deck. So I'd say like it's probably just really hard. Like it kind of reminds me of what the Trader Dende was there are so many plays you could make, and there's always an option for success, but you have to actually find that road for it. So that shouts for him making top 16, biggest event of the year and doing it. So congrats there. And last, Demigra. Demigra's been getting a lot of support, especially the card that came out that day that I didn't put in my top 10 list because I didn't read the card right, and I thought it said play when you play this card on the board and not pitch it from your hand, which is 10 times better. I believe that there are a bunch of people trying out Demigra and all that and trying it out. He definitely was not the only one running it this weekend, and it'd be cool to see one just his build honestly, and how well tuned it was for the meta. Decks like this, where I think Demigra is one. When it first came out, it was really bad because it had a really shallow card pool. But now that it keeps growing and more cards are getting added to it, I think people are always going to slowly come back and keep trying it out. And I think we're really on the verge of there being like enough like broken cards that were just kind of printed over the last couple of months that can really build into a really scary and competent deck, especially with the new counterplay that is coming out next set. That could be really scary for Demigra. But yeah, that's pretty much my breakdown there. I think that as far as I'm aware, the meta is healthy, but that doesn't mean anything because we won't really have a meta anymore for a bit. I don't know what it is with. It seems really weird that they're making another set next month, but I don't know. We'll have to see what their tournament schedule is. Hopefully, it's before May, like it was this year. That'd be really nice, and just more of an actual year of competitive play instead of kind of making it in 4 months, which I think they've been hearing that, and we'll get some more details about it. I don't know exactly everything that was announced at the tournament either, just bits and pieces I picked up. I know that there's going to be a world championship, which is really exciting actually. I know that I'd say compared to my experience with other card games, that this game is quickly international. It has like a lot of people from a lot of groups in it. It just might be like the internet being better than it was 5-6 years ago when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh and that kind of stuff. But that's really exciting to me. And I know they also leaked the red yellow Goku leader, which with new awakening things, and I'll probably make a whole new video about that. But I think that's awesome and really cool. And yeah, that's really it. If you guys have any information for this table, please let me know in the comments below, or just email me in the description below as well, and I'll update this. Hopefully, that when the time you're actually clicking on the link down there will be things for you to look at and all that. And fingers crossed. But yeah, that should be it for me. I'm struggling. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.